a lot to be learned.
So just to my understanding, basically what you're saying is we're at level 1.0, which is insulin is the baseline level. And we've gone as far as we can do with that with automated insulin delivery systems. But the best we can achieve on average in the real world is 65% time in range. That's the best we can do with insulin only. So now we've mastered insulin only, and we know that the insulins are not going to speed up very much due to issues with just the kinetics of managing it. We need to look elsewhere, 2.0, 3.0, 4.0. And I guess that's what this conversation's all about, isn't it? It's kind of insulin's got us so far. Yes, we would all like a cure with stem cells, but the reality of that coming to people on the street in England in the next 10 years at a cost affordable price is close to zero. So what are we going to do in the meantime to go from 65% time in range, push it up much higher with hopefully improved metabolic control? And that's where I'm excited to have this conversation. So I'm glad we've gone from 1.0 and we're maybe on the way to a little bit higher.
Yeah, but I would also like to add is that the insulin and even a stem cell probably replacement, it's again is focusing on probably the glucose control. And what I meant by kind of a more of a metabolic homeostasis is not just about the glucose. And I will give you just the one good example here. I think it was a nice study published in New England Journal a couple of years back. This is from a Swedish registry, right? And what they looked at is that the people with the cardiovascular mortality in people with type 1 diabetes compared to people without diabetes, right? And the cardiovascular mortality was twofold higher, even when people had an A1C of less than 6.5, which would be in time in range of 75% to somewhere around 80%, right? So just focusing on a time in range alone is not going to be optimal in, I would say, healthy aging with type 1 diabetes.
Yeah, no, that's a really good point, actually. I've looked at some of that data myself, and obviously there's the Scottish data which showed something like a 14-year on average reduction in life expectancy, and then you looked at the Swedish data and thought, wow, these guys are really well controlled, but they've still got like 7 years less, and also there's the health span with that, and I think that goes to what you're saying is glucose control is one thing, but then there's insulin. You might have excellent glucose control, but if you're having double the circulating insulin that someone without diabetes does, that's not going to be a good thing. So that's where these therapies are potentially coming in. So I think that sets the scene quite nicely.